In this video, I'm going to show you all you need to know about the Squier Affinity Bronco Bass. Hi guys, I'm Tyler. Thank you for tuning back into the channel once again. If you're new around here, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing too. This video is in collaboration with Guitar Centre Langley here in the UK, which is an independent guitar store. I will leave a link to this bass, which is from their stock, in the description, as well as a link to their website in general, so you can check them out. They also have a load of cool guitars in there, cool basses, lots of Fender stock coming through there. So if that's your sort of thing, head to the links in the description and check out the stock. And if you want to play this very bass, you can order it there from their website or go and check it out in store. So as I said in the introduction, this is the Squier Bronco Bass, and this is one of the cheapest basses that money can buy. These are super cheap, almost dirt cheap basses, and the cheapest bass you can get from the Squier Fender stable. And something a little bit different, something a little bit cool, and clearly designed as a student model. Those of you who have watched my recent videos would have caught the Music Master basses and noticed that there's a lot of similarities between this and the Music Master bass. And this is pretty much a Squier reissue of the Music Master bass. The Music Master bass was originally designed as a student bass, and a lot of bassists took them and used them as proper professional instruments. Those were hand-built American-made instruments from the 70s kind of era, and this is really the modern version of that, made by Squier, a student bass, an affordable bass that you can get and start learning on. But at the same time, I think it has potential mileage to go further than just being a student bass. In that respect, I'm going to run you through the specs of this bass. Then I'm going to do a solo tone demo just to give you an idea of the range of tones you get from this bass. And then head-to-head, back-to-back demo of all the different tone settings and different styles of fingerstyle, pick style and slap style to give you an idea of how this bass might suit you and fit what you do. So without further ado, we can go through the specs and talk about the kind of similarities between this and the Music Master basses. So this is the Music Master design. Squier have obviously renamed it to the Bronco bass, but same body shape as a Music Master, and pretty much the same hardware, just in a kind of cheaper Squier version. So we have poplar body, maple neck and fingerboard. Really like poplar as a body actually. It's pretty good alternative to alder. Quite a lot of low bass punch, maybe slightly more muted in the highs, but it's a nice mid-rangey wood, particularly in the deep low registers. We then have this, which is a Stratocaster pickup. Fender say it's a specially designed Bronco bass single coil pickup, but on the Music Master basses these were Strat pickups, and I don't really have any reason to believe otherwise with this bass. It would make sense for them economically, and to be honest, the way it sounds very similar to the Music Master, and that's definitely a Strat or a Mustang pickup. Then we have the volume and the tone knob, and then the input jack as well. This is a typical Fender construction with a 4-bolt neck join, and we have this bent plate bridge with the two saddles, so you have to kind of bend them and work out how your intonation is going to work based on how the two saddles sit between the two strings, so it's a pair of strings per saddle. And then we have up at the top, we have these Squier tuners, which are a bit more robust than those that were on the original Music Master basses. Up here we have a synthetic bone nut. We have medium jumbo frets on this bass, and it's a 19 fret bass. In terms of the neck profile on this bass, it's very similar to that of the original Music Master that I reviewed. Check it out on my channel. It's fairly chunky. It's got a little bit more chunk down towards the nut than you'd expect. The width is nice though. It's a jazz bass width neck, so 1.5 inches. And then as you come up towards the 12th fret, it slims out nicely, but still has a decent amount of body. I'd say it's probably a little bit bigger and thicker than you'd expect for a jazz bass. But then that also brings us to the kind of aspect of the fact that this is a short scale bass, and I feel like if it had a slim neck and it was short scale, you're going to kind of lose a lot of tone, and it's going to be a very, very fragile bass. So I think this is a really nice balance. Definitely a solid neck. It's easy to get around. The short scale is 30 inch from nut to the bridge piece. Definitely makes it easy to get around quick, and if you are, say, buying this for a child, or you just want to start with something that's quite easy, quite compact, this is definitely a good choice for that reason. This bass definitely is fairly light, it comes in at under 4 kilograms. The truss rod is adjusted by the Allen keyhole right here at the top of the neck above the nut. And this bass is made in Indonesia. So now running through the specs of the bass, I'm just going to show you some of the tones you can get from this bass. So here is the tone all the way up and the volume all the way up. This is the tone on half. And then this is the tone rolled all the way off. So that gives you an idea of the solo tone of the bass. Let me know what your thoughts are on the bass so far in the comments below. We're now going to go to the head-to-head demo, and don't forget to put in the comments below as you watch the demo which your favourite tone setting is. So now you've seen the tone demo, don't forget to let me know in the comments below which was your favourite setting, and also if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell too. I'm now just going to give you my conclusions on this bass and let you know who I think this bass is best suited to. I think for the price this bass is really hard to beat. Definitely if you're starting out, I'd be pretty happy to start out on a bass like this. There's very little that it can't do. I think in terms of these different tones, it worked pretty well for all three styles of fingerstyle, pickstyle and slapstyle. I think there are definitely weaknesses to this bass, but I think as a starter bass, if you're thinking I don't want to spend too much money for my child to start learning, or just to have a basic instrument to just give it a go, you can't really go wrong with this bass. So if that's all you need, I'd stop watching here and go with that. If you are a more experienced player or wanting something a little bit more from your bass, I think this bass is going to start coming up short eventually. I think the hardware and the build quality are decent for the price, in fact very good for the price. But I think that the hardware is definitely cheaper, and you can tell in many places. The first thing I'd probably do would be to change out the pickup. I would put in something that wasn't a Strat pickup. I feel like the Strat pickup basses always sound a little bit unbalanced in the mid-range. You get the A and the D strings are going to be a lot punchier and rounder, just because there are more poles there. The centre of the pickup has 4 poles, whereas there's only 2 on each side. So I find often the E string on basses with Strat pickups come out quite low sounding, as in not enough output. The A and the D come out really clear and punchy and round and warm, and I think they sound great. And then I think the G string again comes across as a little bit flimsy. So probably would change out the pickup, and the rest of this hardware on the bass could easily be changed too. And maybe that's the joy of it. It's a Fender style bass, and you can always find parts for Fender style basses and do the upgrades you want to make it the bass that you want. I know there's an avid group of people on Talk Bass that take Broncos and customize them and mod them, and they're so cheap that they're worth it. Ultimately, it's a solid neck and a solid body. If you want to use this as a building platform, it definitely could be that for you. As I say, the build quality is good on this bass. There's a couple of places it comes up short, like the scratch plate's not quite screwed down properly. But really, the fretwork and everything is very good for the price. No issues at all. I'm not 100% sure on the satin finish neck on the Affinity basses, but then Music Man have satin finish bass necks, and for me, I find that they pick up a lot of dirt very quickly, but it's a feel that you can't really go wrong with when you're first starting out, particularly because you're not going to get stuck, it's not going to be unpleasant. It's just a piece of wood, feels like a piece of wood, and it's smooth and easy to navigate. And for many people, that's all you're going to need from a bass like this. Overall, I'd recommend this bass to anyone that's starting out. It's hard to go wrong, and it's nice to have a 30-inch scale. It makes it a little bit easier. The only reservation would be if you're going to consider moving up to 34-inch scales typically, which is long scale, the standard scale for a bass guitar, you might have a little bit more difficulty as time progresses. But if you're happy and enjoy the compact feel and nature of this bass, definitely give it a purchase. People I wouldn't recommend this bass to are people that want a proper vintage bass like a Music Master, people that want the Heritage or something like that, or people that want a bass that's going to really survive touring or gigging regularly. If you're going to want a short scale bass for that kind of thing, I'd maybe look at something like the Mexican made Mustang with the PJ setup, or any of the Mexican or other Mustang basses. I feel like they would stand up to touring properly, whereas something like this is well built. It's a solid bass, but I feel like the rigors of touring would take its toll on things like the tuners, which are not amazing. They do the job, but they are not amazing. And the other parts, things like the bridge saddles, I'd want proper individual saddles if I was to be touring with a short scale bass. So for someone like that, I'd suggest you look at the PJ Mustang bass. So those are my thoughts on the Squier Bronco bass, and I just struggle to not recommend this bass. If you're starting out as a bass player, it'll do everything you need, and it's going to have that Fender style tone that's just going to fit and sit for whatever you're going to do, and you can have a lot of fun on one of these basses. Let me know what your thoughts are on this bass in the comments below, and if you have experience of the Bronco bass yourself, let me know how yours is doing and how you've fared with the Bronco. What are your thoughts on it? Are there any shortcomings? I want all of that stuff in the comments below. This video is in collaboration with Langley Guitar Centre again, so this is from their stock. You can buy this very bass and check it out for yourself. I will leave a link to it in the description below this video. Don't forget to head over to my Instagram to check out what I'm up to regularly and follow me there. And other than that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.